crimson light is live in you. The crimson light is that glow always resonating inside you. The crimson light is waiting to be ignited. Are you ready to be ignited? Are you ready to actualize self-full love? Are you ready to shine? Okay, on my last video with presence, an introduction to presence, part one, I talked about presence being an elder on my journey to actualizing self-full love. I talked about how presence equates to number 4 in numerology and how we can fuse or infuse the characteristics of presence, as we know, the warmness, the nurturing, the embracing of us, and the number, the solid aspect of presence, meaning the foundation that she sets within us, the foundation of what she represents, the 4 seasons, the 4 elements, the 4 gospels, the 4 rivers. Of course, talk about rivers, meaning the emotional aspects, but how presence really encapsulates the aspects of our beings that help us to keep sane, to not only sane, but to have that self recognition that we are one with Source, we are one with Essence, we are one with all of life. Because when we look at the number 4, for instance, the 4 corners of the earth, we know in actual fact, like in Presence's words, for instance, when she says, I am the gaze in a child's eyes. And when you take an aeroplane flight, it is vital that you know as above, so below. So presence in all of this is giving us some insight of her pureness, of her unconditional love, of her self-acceptance, of the non-judgmental part that we could see in a child's eyes. And then also the comfort, the nurturing aspect of when we are thousands of feet way up in the sky on an aeroplane flight that many people are petrified. She is there with us to let us know we are all right. And she says, as above, so below. And that below as well. Presence is really trying to tell us that even when we are in a position of self-pity and self of depriving ourselves of that love, we are in a posture of bending our heads down and with chatterbox in our heads telling us we are not good enough, we are not talented, we are not gifted, we don't count, or we do not belong. Presence is also there to help us to find that spot within us where we can go within. This is where we tend to pray. This is where we tend to meditate. This is where we tend to acknowledge the higher self within us. This is where we are praying to be heard. And by even our actions in praying to be heard, we know or acknowledge there is an aspect of us that is more than that feeling sorry for ourselves or feeling self-pity. And so presence is really so wonderful in her way of showing us that she's always with us. Presence is always present. And that's what she is really conveying to us. I am always present. She says, I am the transparent seas that you see in the eyes of a child, or that you gaze in the child's eyes and in their smiles, where we know with children, they make no judgment whatsoever. They are loving us without saying the words, I love you. They are being in the moment with us. You gaze at them, you see their eyes, and they just burst into smile and they just cackle with delight. And you are compelled to reciprocate those smiles. It is unquestionable. And so that is presence. That is presence in operation. But I want to go back to acknowledging the solidity aspect of presence when we talk about the number four and the four corners of the earth. I am hoping when you see or acknowledge, even in your homes, there are four corners in your room that builds that structure, um, that where you feel safe, you feel it's your home, you feel in your privacy, or whatever it is that it means to you. So, four, let us be mindful of how four plays out in our lives. When you see four, what does it mean to you? I would like to emphasize that we can also use numbers to concentrate or to make more meaning of our lives, of things that we are doing, thinking, and saying. And this is, if we were to consider how often throughout the day we encounter numbers, and if we were to be mindful of the impact on us or how they play out in our lives through even 50% of the times that we see that, it is less time or less um, access for negativity in our lives. We are then really investing our time and energy to building ourselves, to actualizing self-full love. So with that said, it's that we are merging numbers and words. And with the elders, of course, these are going to be, hopefully, the elders are going to be who we hinge or anchor onto with different activities as we go along through the series of our learning to actualize self-full love. May the crimson light continue to shine in you. May the crimson light continue to glow within you. May you also be mindful of igniting the crimson light, because every time we become conscious in our actions, we are igniting that spark of light within us. And within us, of course, has to extend out of us. And by doing so, we are also igniting the other people around us. We are helping others on that path of actualizing self-full love. We are all on this path together. We are one people. We are one in all aspects of our beings. Is that um, it may sound silly, but I haven't seen someone with their nose on top of their heads. We all are really the same. So it's that we laugh, we cry, and we do all those things the same. So I am leaving you with those words from Presence. And as Presence say, um, I am the transparencies. So let us be graceful in everything we do. Let us be mindful with presence. And I am bidding you a warm and, well, warm presence with presence with the actualizing self-full love on Crimey Queen. Okay, do like and do subscribe, of course, and hope to see you soon again. Thank you.